This is Pinhead from the movie Hellraiser, and it's my first memory of being in a video rental store. I was around 4 years old. It was a place across the road from my grandparents' house. I remember walking in and seeing Pinhead looking at me on the shelf. Obviously I wasn't allowed to rent that movie, instead I got a Looney Tunes VHS. The one episode I remember from it was when Bugs Bunny was mistaken for a baby gorilla. When I was a bit older, I'd go to a place called Jack Beanstalk Video, and this is the first thing I saw on the shelf in that place. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I was already watching horror movies back then, but mostly in secret by borrowing my uncle's VHS tapes or recording stuff on TV. So I didn't rent Jason Goes to Hell. The first thing I remember getting from Jack Beanstalk Video was the Simpsons VHS. Also, my parents rented the movie Troll that I watched with them, but for years I could only remember the VHS cover until I found the DVD.
Come to the Warehouse and rent the hit movies you want when you want them with the Warehouse Movie Rental Guarantee. This week, the Warehouse guarantees you can rent Big Crocodile Dundee 2 and Cocktail starring Tom Cruise. If we don't have a copy available...
As a kid, the trip to a video rental store was more than a trip. It was an event. So many things to choose from, so many cool looking movies and games, and you can pick one or two and take them home and enjoy. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Ghost Chase, Little Monsters, Short Circuit are just a few I remember renting. Little Monsters was different though. I didn't rent that from a rental store. Every so often a guy would turn up outside our house with a car full of VHS tapes and we would pick a movie from the back of his car to rent. It was weird, probably not legal, but it was cool.
Spot.
Don't want to see it.
Coming on in 20 minutes.
Can't wait around to see it.
When is it?
Video. It's the only way to get what you want to watch when you want to watch it. Action, adventure, horror, comedy, drama, suspense, romance. Great entertainment. Always a great value.
What you wanna watch?
There's one place I haven't mentioned yet that became the biggest place of rented videos and even put a lot of smaller places out of business, and I'll get round to this place, but first here are some video rental memories from Tristabites and Dan from RetroZone.
Our video rental shops, they were these wonderful, amazing Aladdin's cave of wonders. Those aisles of endless gems, and if you were really good all week at school, on a Friday night you might get to go and gingerly pick one or two to borrow over the weekend. I remember walking up and down the seamlessly endless magical aisles lined with VHS tapes of all of the awesome cartoons you wanted to see, all of the top big name movies, loads of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies you'd pick up and be told to put straight back on the shelf, and just like the Mega Drive games especially. I think that was my main focus because the Mega Drive was the console that I owned, but they had so many amazing things. It was just like being in the biggest sweet shop for consumable media that existed in the world, and there's no experience quite like it. It isn't something that you can really explain fully to someone that wasn't there. Apart from picking up the latest movies and cartoon episodes and things, definitely Transformers VHSs I borrowed from there. So I only own one Transformers VHS, but I know I've watched a lot of them, so there was definitely Transformers VHSs that I picked up. Things like Bucky O'Hare and Thundercats and all the classics, all of the gems they would have, as well as all of the top movies. Land Before Time, definitely I watched. I saw it in the cinema, but I definitely saw that again from the video rental shop. What else did I see? There was so much. And then I got older, the anime section, that definitely became a thing as I sort of started to hit, I don't know, 11, 12, something like that. The anime section where sometimes you could watch things that weren't being sold in the local shops, and a new Manga video with their absolutely terrible dubs and sometimes ridiculously inaccurate cover artwork. Just when a new one of those was released, it was amazing and I had to rent it. And I think the other thing I really, really enjoyed, and I don't hear mentioned enough, but was one of the highlights for me, and this continued on way later in life, even after I stopped going to video rental shops and things. I never stopped loving those just bins of ex-rental VHSs, those half-worn out copies of Thundercats, those half kind of chewed by You Hope It Was a Dog copies of like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or something, the ex-rental VHSs and later in life DVDs as well, when I sort of went, well, modern, they were amazing. The experience of kind of diving into those bins and finding some gem of a VHS tape that you really wanted, it's amazing. I love that. I don't know if that's just me, but that was one of the highlights for me, was being able to spend that pocket money on a VHS tape I could keep from the rental shop, saving me at least a tenner I didn't even have. That's definitely a major thing for me, and one of the reasons why I love them. There's so many reasons why. They were an incredible experience, and they're something that's now pretty much confined to the depths of history and will be talked about in hushed tones and with nostalgia and joy when I'm in an old people's home somewhere with people looking at me very confused while they watch holograms from inside VR headsets, or if they even need that, it would just be plugged straight into their eyeballs. But those experiences, I think they were awesome, and I don't care if they actually weren't.
So Dan has kindly asked me to come on today to talk about my video store memories. So the first one that comes to mind for me is my local Costcutter. The reason for that is because my mum actually worked there. So whenever new movies would come in, we'd always get first dibs on them. And I remember going in there and waiting for mum to finish work. So I'd go and have a look through the videos that they had out for rental. So I would see copies of like Addams Family Values. I don't know why Addams Family Values always comes to mind first. I just remember seeing it all the time. I remember seeing the original Batman there. I just remember seeing all sorts of tapes there. I remember the little red tags they used to put on them saying, oh, this is the hot new release, or this is one that's doing well in like awards and things like that. So I remember seeing those quite a lot, and the big stickers used to put on the front of the cassettes. Oh, so many fond memories. So after my mum sort of stopped working there, we had to go to other places. And another store that I remember a lot is Take-Two Video. And I remember this one a lot because we used to rent Mega Drive games from there. And one that really sticks out for me is Super WrestleMania. And that's because I have footage of myself and my brother Gaz playing that game on the day that we rented it from Take-Two Video. I'm sure we rented a ToeJam and Earl game from there as well, and maybe even the Menacer for the Mega Drive. Again, this could be just blurred memories. I could have rented them or borrowed them from friends, but I seem to remember coming back from my local town very late at night with my brother and my dad with the Menacer, and I don't know why, but I just seem to remember it was rented. So yeah, so weird memories, but obviously over time video rental stores would close and then something else would come in its place. So when Take-Two closed, Choices Video came in, and Choices Video for me really stems to like the N64 type of era. Basically because I remember one time I really wanted to play WWF No Mercy for the N64, as my friends were telling me so much about it. It was great, you could do ladder matches and it was awesome. It was better than WrestleMania 2000. This was the definitive WWF game. So I was like, Dad, can we call up Choices? Please, I want to play WWF No Mercy. So he calls up Choice. They have a copy in which has just been returned, and I was like, ask them if they can keep it, ask them if they can keep it, but they couldn't, so we had to drive into town really quickly, and luckily we managed to get it. I remember renting a couple of movies from there. I can't remember what they were, but I just remember renting a couple, but it was more for video games for me. Then after that, of course, was obviously Blockbuster Video. I remember again renting video games from there, maybe one or two movies, but by that time when Blockbuster was really a thing, there was other options for you to get your DVDs and stuff, and unfortunately that's when I remember the days leading up to the Blockbuster closure. It was weird going in there because they were even selling the shelves that DVDs were being put on. It was crazy, but there was some really good memories for me going to video stores and just going around. They always had a particular smell, like a popcorny type of smell. So, and you'd go around, you'd flick through the videos, and it really was like a night out for the family. You'd go out and you'd find a movie that you all wanted to watch, and you'd go home and you'd watch them, or you'd go in there, you'd all find a game that you wanted to play, you take it home and you play it for the weekend. So yeah, I kind of wish they would come back, but I do understand why they have gone away, because we got things like Netflix nowadays. But thanks very much, Dan, for having me on. I hope I didn't ramble on too much, and I hope I brought some memories for some people. So thanks, Dan.
If you'd like to see more of Tristabites and Dan from RetroZone, check out their channels and the links in the description below.
Rise from your grave.
Altered Beast for the Sega Mega Drive was the first video game I ever rented at Jack Beanstalk Video, but I started to rent games more often when I started visiting the place that took over most of the video rental places, Blockbuster Video.
Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right! Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no rush, no hassle. Fast checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store.
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
Is popping up all over the country. There's one near you.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
When I moved to Wales from Manchester, there was a Blockbuster Video on the local high street. I'd never been to one before, and I was used to going to the smaller local ones and not a big chain one like this. The first time I walked into Blockbusters, I looked around for ages. I finally decided to rent a PS1 game. I can't remember what game it was. I walked to the till and was asked for my membership card. Membership card? I didn't know that was a thing. I was too young to apply for one, so I had to go home with no game. A few days later I got my dad to join so I could start renting stuff. The movies I remember renting are Good Burger, Kevin and Perry Go Large, Zombie Flesh Eaters. I was in my early teens now, so I could pick horror movies, Jackie Chan movies, and lots more. It was great renting, as if you don't like the movie, you haven't bought it and you could just bring it back and rent something else. I discovered a lot of cool movies thanks to renting, games too. I remember renting a lot of PS1 games and also Super Smash Bros. For N64 quite a few times. It was great popping into Blockbusters every so often to see what new things they had to rent, what they had on sale to buy. The first DVD I ever bought for myself was from Blockbusters. It was Pokemon the first movie. I got it on Halloween when I was taking my sisters out trick-or-treating, and I still have that copy now. With instant streaming things like Netflix, Amazon Video, etc. these days, there isn't really a need for rental video places, but I do miss them. I miss walking in, looking around, randomly choosing a movie or game that I have no idea if it's good or not, as I couldn't just check a review online, but that's what made it fun. Like I said before, it was an event. Friday night, rent a few movies, order a takeout, it's movie night! A time to spend with a family, or a time to discover a potential new favourite movie you'll love for years to come. It was special, and I miss the days of video renting. At the moment I'm saying this, there is only one Blockbuster Video left in the world apparently. I don't know how long it'll be until that one is gone. At least we'll always have the memories of these places and visiting them in the 80s and of course as a kid in the 90s. Do you miss them? Please let me know your video rental memories. Thanks for watching everyone.